Hi crochet friends! Today I'm going to show you how to make the Peaceful Flower Afghan Square. For this project I used King Cole Big Value Aran yarn. I used 3 different colors. This is Sage, Honeysuckle, and Starling. This is a 100% premium acrylic weight yarn. Here's the yarn information here for you. So each ball has 100 grams, so 3.52 ounces, and approximately 257 yards or 235 meters. The finished square measures 6 inches by 6 inches, and it's pretty easy to make. I'm going to take you through the project step by step now. So you will need a 6mm hook. I'm using my Clover Amour hook today. And we're going to start our project using our sage colored yarn. So that's the light green yarn. You can get this pattern for free on my website, and just pop over to mbakadesignCrochet.com and search Peaceful Flower Afghan Square. To begin, I use a double magic ring, but I'm going to show you how to make this using a chain 2 to start instead. If you'd like to use the double magic ring, please feel free to substitute. So we're going to start with a slip knot. There's a lot of different ways to make them. I just use this one I was taught when I was very little, and I keep using it because it's familiar to me. So create a slip knot and place it on your hook. Chain 2. And now we're going to work all of the stitches in the second chain from the hook. So if you're making the double magic ring, you would create your double magic ring, and then you would chain 1 and make 8 single crochet stitches into the ring. So now we're going to make 8 single crochet stitches into the second chain from the hook. So you have your 8 single crochet stitches. We're going to slip stitch to the first stitch to join. You can make that slip stitch tight. We're not going to be working into it later. And then chain 1 to finish off. If you're using this method to start, you do have a hole here. We need to close this before we go any further, or else the entire gauge of the project would be off. So grab your yarn needle. And turn your project over. And weave your yarn needle through that first round of stitches. And then pull that end to tighten and close the ring. And now you need to weave this in securely on the back so the center doesn't open up later on. You can weave this other end in if you'd like. I'm going to leave it until the end of the project. So at the end of round 1, you have 8 single crochet stitches in the first round. For round 2, you'll need color B. And if you're looking at my written pattern, you can check the colors that I'm using in the supply section. So the colors, they'll tell you here. So for color B, it's Honeysuckle, which is the yellow color. We're going to join color B in any of the single crochet stitches. Just remember to turn it back over so you have the tops of the stitches showing, not the back. Okay, so this is the right side, and we call this the wrong side. So with color B, you're going to join in any of your stitches. I'm going to show you how to join with a slip stitch, but you can also join with a standing stitch. That's what I normally do for my projects. So any of the stitches around, I like to stagger where I join so that it's not always in the same spot, because it creates sort of a seam line and I don't like how that looks. So pick a stitch and join your yarn with a slip stitch under both of the loops. Oops. You can make that tight because we're not working into it. And now we're going to chain 3 for our first double crochet and chain 2 additional stitches for our first chain 2 space. If you're joining with a double crochet instead, you would make your double crochet, chain 2. For the next stitch, work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and each of the remaining stitches make 1 double crochet and then chain 2. Remember, this is your slip stitch, so we don't work into that, but we do work into the next one, which is the single crochet. You'll hit it sometime in your round depending on where you join to start. So once you're done, double check that you have 8 double crochet stitches and 8 chain 2 spaces. And we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch to join. So you'll slip stitch to the top of your double crochet. So since we're using a chain 3 to represent the double crochet, check for your third chain, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into that. You can make that tight because we don't use the slip stitches for this round. So at the end of round 2, you have 8 double crochet stitches and 8 chain 2 spaces. For round 3, we're going to slip stitch around the post of our first double crochet, or your chain 3, whichever you're using here. So slip stitch around that post. I have to change my grip for that, sorry. Slip stitch around the post. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work 4 double crochets around the same post. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you'll have something like this. Now we're going to skip the chain 2 space and work a slip stitch around the post of the next double crochet. I like to fold my work so that I just have this stitch to work with. Chain 3 and make 4 double crochets around that post. And repeat that for each of the stitches around, so each of the double crochets, and we skip all the chain 2 spaces. So slip stitch around that post, chain 3, and make 4 double crochets. Find your next post and repeat. Chain 3, and make 4 double crochets. I'll meet you back here after I'm done all of these petals. After you have your 8 petals, you're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet to join. And you will have 40 double crochet stitches at the end of this round. For round 4, we're going to be using a new color, so we're going to finish off For round 4, we're going to be using this sage colored yarn again, so create a slip knot, place it on your hook. We're going to work into the chain 2 spaces from round 2 that we skipped when we made the petals. So join with a slip stitch into any of those chain 2 spaces. Chain 4, skip this first chain, and in the second chain work 1 single crochet. In the next chain work 1/2 double crochet, and in the last chain work 1 double crochet. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, chain 3, slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, and we're going to work another leaf. So chain 4, skip 1 chain, make 1 single crochet in the next chain, 1 half double crochet in the next chain, and 1 double crochet in the last chain. Slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, chain 3, slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, and chain 4 to make the next leaf. Skip the first chain, make 1 single crochet in the next chain, 1 half double crochet in the next chain, and 1 double crochet in the last chain. Slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, chain 3, slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, and chain 4, skip the first chain, make 1 single crochet in the next chain, 1 half double crochet in the next chain, and 1 double crochet in the last chain. Slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, chain 3, and slip stitch into the first chain space where we joined, slip stitch into there. So now we have our 4 leaves, and you have 4 chain 3 spaces. So chain 1 to finish off this color. And for round 4, if you're counting your stitches, you will have 4 single crochet stitches from the petals, or pardon me, 4 single crochet stitches from the leaves, 4 half double crochet stitches, 4 double crochet stitches, and 4 chain 3 spaces. We don't count the slip stitches since we're not going to be working into them. For round 5, we're going to use color C. And once again, you can check that in your supply section in the pattern. So color C is called Starling. For round 5, we're going to work into these chain 3 spaces. We're going to join with a slip stitch, so create your slip knot. Place this on your hook. Find a chain 3 space and slip stitch to join. Now, if you're working with a standing stitch to join instead, you'll join with a double crochet stitch here. So for us that are joining with a slip stitch, you chain 3 to represent your first double crochet stitch. Make 2 additional double crochet stitches. Chain 2 and make 3 more double crochet stitches into the same chain 3 space. This is what you have in your first chain 3 space. Skip the leaf, and in your next chain 3 space, work 3 double crochets. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. skip the leaf and work into the next chain 3 space, make 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, skip the next leaf, find the last chain 3 space and make your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets again, 2, we're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet to join. So if you worked with a chain 3, you'd look for your 3rd chain. So slip stitch into that 3rd chain to join, make the slip stitch tight. Now at this point, your square is going to measure approximately 3 inches across. It's a little floofy right now because it's not, but the ends aren't all sewn in, but so it's going to measure approximately 3 inches across. If you're using centimeters, 7.5-ish. Okay. So at the end of round 5, you have 24 double crochet stitches. So 6 in each corner and 4 chain 2 spaces. Those are our 4 corners for our square. For round 6, chain 3, that's going to be your first double crochet for the round, and make 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. For your corner, chain 2 space, you're going to make 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Now for the next stitch, it's slightly hidden because of those double crochets in the corner, but this stitch here, we need to work into that. So work a double crochet into that first stitch after the chain 2 corner space. That didn't sound right. Work a double crochet in the first stitch following the corner, and in each double crochet across to the next corner, chain 2 space. So that'll be 6 double crochets in total. Across. So double check that to make sure you didn't miss that first one. So you have 6, okay? In this chain 2 space, work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And we're going to work across the square again to the next corner. So in each of those double crochets, make sure you find that first one because sometimes it gets stuck underneath that last double crochet in the corner. So there'll be 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're back to the corner. So the corner is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And work 1 double crochet in each stitch across to the next corner, chain 2 space. There'll be 6 double crochets here. And we're at the corner. For the corner, make your 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. We have, let me show you, 3 double crochet stitches left to make. So make your last 3 for this round. And slip stitch to the first stitch to join. Now, I like slip stitching here into the first real double crochet of the round, and I don't make it too tight now because it mimics the top for this stitch. So this is the end of the round for round 6. Oh, it's starting to look a little bit more like the square. At the end of round 6, you have 40 double crochets and 4 chain 2 spaces. For round 7, we're using the same color, but you can switch it up if you want to with your own square. We're going to chain 3 to start. Now if you did slip stitch into the first double crochet to join instead of the chain 3 for this round, you need to still work 1 more double crochet here in this round. So make 1 double crochet in that first double crochet. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2. And make 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And we're at the corner, so it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Like so, so that's your first corner. We're going to work across the row here. So make 1 double crochet in each of the stitches across to the corner. There should be 10 of them. So you have your 10 double crochets. Now we're at the corner, so make your 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So there's the top of the square. And now we're going to repeat that for this next 2 sets, and I'll meet you back here at this corner, the last corner, so that we can finish this round together. Okay, so after you have your 4 corners, we just have these last stitches here to complete. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So make 1 double crochet in each of the last 5 stitches. Slip stitch to the first stitch to join, like so. At the end of round 7, you have 56 double crochet stitches and 4 chain 2 spaces. For round 8, we're going to chain 3 to start. That's to represent the first one here, this first double crochet. Make 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So in this stitch here, beside the chain 3, make 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. And now you're at the corner. We'll be making a 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet corner, and now we're going to work the other 3 corners. Be working 1 double crochet in each of the 14 stitches to the next chain 2 space. In the corner, make your 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, corner, and repeat that for the last 2 sides. I'll meet you back here after the 4th corner. And for your final stitches for this project, you work 1 double crochet into each of the last 7 stitches. Now you can slip stitch tightly here to join, or you can use an invisible finish, and I'll show you how to do that. So finish your last stitch and then pull the loop through. Thread this onto a yarn needle. Skip the chain 3 and find the first double crochet from the round. Work your needle under the 2 loops of under the 2 loops at the top of the stitch, and create a small section here where you're going to make our stitch that mimics the rest. So don't pull it too tight like that or it defeats the purpose. We're trying to make this look like it has the same top as the rest of the stitches. So create your small section here that's about the same length as the one before it, and then thread this needle between the front and back loop of the last stitch that you crocheted towards the back of your work. Now pull a little bit there to make it look the same. So now it looks like the other 2 stitches there. Pinch the stitch when you turn it over so you don't pull it too tight, and then weave in this end. If you pull too tight, it'll close it. So try to pinch so it can't move as you start weaving this in. And then you'll have a finished edge here. It gives you the loops to work into when you're joining your squares too. So all that's left for you for your project is to weave in your ends. Okay, so weave in your ends and then wet block your square. It will measure approximately 6 inches by 6 inches once complete. So about 6 inches by 6 inches. And that is about 15.25 centimeters. You see? About 15 centimeters. I measured to this top loop here because when you work into it, it pulls it like that. And then once you're done, you have your 6 by 6 inch square. Thank you for watching this tutorial to learn how to make the Peaceful Flower Afghan Square. I hope you found it helpful. Remember, you can get the free pattern from my website, mbakadesignCrochet.com, and just search in the search bar for Peaceful Flower Afghan Square. Thanks so much and have a great day.